Hi guys, I'm Lily and today I have a guest on my channel. Jack from BlackScoutSurvival is going to demonstrate on how to use the hand drill successfully, because I can't do that still. And yeah, BlackScoutSurvival has a YouTube channel and he's doing, military tactical survival. Also he's doing urban survival, and he has produced an urban survival DVD. You can find the link in the description of this video. And now have fun watching this video and maybe subscribe to his channel as well.
What's up guys? BlackScoutSurvival. Today we're going to be talking about the secrets of the hand drill, or secrets of a successful hand drill. A few years ago I did a video on hand drill technique, and I know that the hand drill is a very complex primitive fire making technique or friction fire technique, so people sometimes have successes and failures with it, and I just want to kind of go over some tips and tricks on how to make a successful hand drill fire. And we're going to just talk about the crafting, or the specifics of the equipment, and then the technique. Okay, so we're going to split this up in two sections, but first off, let's talk about the equipment. You need a board, and you need a spindle. So your board, what I like to have is about a 3/4 of an inch thick. Any smaller than that, sometimes you'll just drill right through it. This needs to be a soft to medium density wood. I could go through a list of 1,000 different woods. You just need to try and trial and error in your area to see what works. Do the fingernail test, see how dense it is, but it needs to be dry. That is one of the most important things to this technique, is that your kit needs to be dry. So make sure it's dry. The other thing is the spindle, the second component of that. And there you can use stalky plants is what I like, and they work very well. You need to make sure it's straight, obviously, and the longer the better for whenever you're first start, so you get a lot of momentum on that downward pressure, downward and more RPM. We'll talk about that in just a second. But anyhow, this is a thicker. You can see the two diameters there. This is a thicker, this is a thinner. I like a smaller diameter because I get more rotations per per movement, so more RPM. Versus the thicker, I may not get as many rotations on that spindle. The other thing is that a lot of people will go for a thicker spindle because it's easier on the hands. The thinner spindle does hurt your hands just a bit, so just keep that in mind. And anytime you're doing this technique, it may be more difficult, especially if it's like raining outside, you're in a very humid environment. Sometimes it's impossible to do this technique depending on where it is. That's why it's so successful in desert environments. So just keep that in mind. So I'm gonna go ahead and carve out a notch, and basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here and just carve out a little circle, and this is how we're gonna start our burn-in process. So we got a little divot hole to start our burn-in process. Just real quick, talking about that spindle, I like to have that spindle anywhere from 20 to 24 inches long, and that's usually a good length. But what we're going to talk about right now is the tip of that spindle. And you can see that polished tip will sometimes happen. If you continue to fail and are trying to do this technique, go ahead and just take it and shave off that polished edge, that burnt edge, and start dry again. Also, never touch this with your finger, because the oils from your finger will hurt you. Another thing is, you want to have a barrier between you and the ground if possible, so any moisture that comes from the ground doesn't interfere with your board. And we're just burning in that hole. So now we got that burn in there. You can see that hole right there. And now we're just going to take our saw. And what I do is I kind of bisect that hole. So I'll go right in and split it in half and just start carving. So guys, looking at our board here, I want to show you a couple significant things about it. You can tell I didn't go too far into the divot there. You don't want to go too far. Then if you look around the back of it, I have went a lot deeper on the bottom portion of that hole, on that notch, I'm sorry. And what that does is whenever we're doing the hand drill technique, it's going to fill in more of that fine dust on the bottom portion of it. That's going to help us build a very good coal and ultimately help us start that fire. Before we start, making that fire, we want to go ahead and prepare a bird's nest, and I just have some bark here from a cedar, and we're just going to prepare that. You want to prepare your bird's nest to begin with, and this needs to be very dry material as well, very fine, with something with very fine hairs. And you're just going to process it up into a bird's nest, something to catch that coal or any type of ember fire making techniques. It can be flint and steel, anything like that, solar. This is very good nesting material right here. You can see all that dust. I'm not sure if you can pick it up on camera, but a lot of dust. And like I said, you want to do this before you get that coal. You don't want to be having your... Before the technique, you may want to get some pine sap and rub on your hands. This is one of the biggest secrets of the hand drills, having something to make your hands grippy. A lot of people use saliva, but I found that just grabbing some tree sap off a pine tree or some kind of sappy tree and just getting it all over my hands really well gives it a good grip and allows me to have a more successful hand drill. So now we're going to look at two techniques. The first technique is the kneeling, where you're going to place your foot on the board and you're going to drill from a kneeling position. Now this is a good technique if you don't have a lot of upper body strength, because it gives you all your downward pressure from your upper body to go on to the drill. If you do this, I've seen sometimes people do this where their knees inside. Never do that. Always place your knee on the outside. It gives you better range of motion going down, so you're not having to work around your knee. You can see once you get down here, your hands kind of get in a bad position. So if you're going to do kneeling, do it like this. I prefer sitting, but that's just my thing. Anyhow, so let's go ahead. So we're going to need a catch pan to put underneath that. Make sure that's dry. That's crucial to make sure that's dry as well. And you want to place that catch pan, then place your foot over it. And then so the technique is one of the most important things too. I see a lot of people doing a short stroke. They'll do halfway just from their knuckles to the back of their hand. You want to go the full entire length of your hand, so it should look like this right here, okay? And never, once you start going, never lift it up. You're spinning like the drill, keep it there. And initially, we just don't want to exert a lot of effort yet, because we're just trying to heat up that board. Using our whole hand length, keep it in there. And usually, I can already smell mine starting to smoke, but usually it takes about 10 revolutions to get this thing smoking. And once you see smoke, I'm starting to see smoke, start going faster. Of going full rotation of that spindle. So guys, once you get that coal formed, you want to let it grow. So just give it a little air and just let that thing grow like that right there. A lot of people rush and go ahead, and as soon as they see it, they throw that thing into their tinder pile, and then it's just, you know, they blow it out. But you can see there we got a pretty good coal form. You don't want to blow this with you know, your lips. You want to waft it with your hand and get that thing good and strong there. We got our smoking coal formed, and what you want to do is you kind of want to sit your tinder pile over it and then drop it onto into your bundle like that, and you want to really wrap it up and close it up. And just give it some oxygen, really hold it tight. The more smoke you get, the harder you blow. And that's kind of wet tinder there, so it took a little longer to blow into flames. But anyhow guys, that is how to you know, successful test for a hand drill. And it may seem difficult, challenging. You know, it took me, I would say, probably 6 months to where I actually could do a effective hand drill technique. So don't get discouraged. Keep on practicing. Utilize these tips and tricks that I said. Make sure you put something sticky on your hands, like I said, pine sap works great. Make sure you use the right dry materials and the specifications of the materials. Like I said, like the thickness of the board, diameter of the hand drill, the length, you know, all that kind of stuff. But anyhow, guys, just practice. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks again to SurvivalLilly for featuring me on her channel. And hope you learned a lot. So thank you.